And they're all musicians sitting there. And then I hit them with this. I said, so you mean to tell... Now, this is all grown men. I'm the only female standing there. All grown men. I think the youngest in the whole group was like 48. So I'm standing there, and I looked at them, and I said, so you mean to tell me, I said, a rock star, I said, or a rapper, I said, or a basketball player, I said, or a football player, I said, all of these big stars that drop F this, F that, F this, F that, all across TV in every interview that they do. I said, you got rock stars standing on stage. I said, you got filthy rappers standing up there who ain't got a stitch of clothing on. And they're up there and it's a daggum strip club in a stadium. I said, and they're flying on private jets, and everywhere they go, they're sending people straight to hell. I said, and they're encouraging the trip. I said, and they're up there twerking and jerking and doing all kinds of dancing and flopping themselves around and shooting their middle finger up in front of everybody and getting kids from Teddy's age, shooting the bird to everybody and sending this message out. I said, you mean to tell me that rock bands that have the pentagram behind them on a stage, I said, and they put it on their shirts and they sell it, and you got all these kids that are wearing all this absolute garbage and crap. I said, they can have a private jet and an airplane and they're sending people straight to hell, but men and women that lay on their face and they're praying for revival and they're praying for a generation to be saved, and they're praying that heaven is more occupied than hell is, and they're doing everything. They're sacrificing their own life to put their lives on the line to save this generation right here, to keep them from burning for eternity in a devil's hell. I said, and they have to drive in a car with no air that breaks down. They can't even drive a daggum Suburban because your stupid religious mindset says that they can't. You do not understand that it is absolute hell that you are spewing out of your mouth when you say that a man or a woman of God who is preaching the gospel cannot prosper. You are being used by Satan himself to spew absolute shit out of your mouth. And I mean that in the literal sense. Paul said it. That's what dung means. And that's absolutely what that is coming out of your mouth. And that is a religious demonic spirit that has been unleashed in the church. And in 2025, the year to be alive, it is time to dismantle this mindset and get this out of the church so that we can see the greatest revival that we have ever seen. And we can, in fact, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. What is the gospel? The good news. It's the good news. What is the good news to a poor person? You don't have to be poor anymore. You don't have to live like this. You weren't created to live at the bottom. You were created in the image and the likeness of God. And you were created to live at the top, seated in heavenly places with Him. Oh, come on, somebody.